Tonight on Denver 7 News at 6.
We are part of this community.
A hero is honored.
We're convinced he saved a lot of people's lives.
A Louisville woman's story is told.
Lana is someone who will really be missed in the community.
New gun laws are considered.
We shouldn't say, well, if it doesn't eradicate all gun violence, then it's not worth pursuing.
And the motive remains frustratingly out of reach.
This is going to take time.
Good evening, and thanks for watching Denver 7. I'm Ann Trujillo.
And I'm Shannon Ogden. We're glad you're with us tonight. And tonight, you will hear more about the suspect in Monday's shooting. We'll also consider how the prosecution might play out, and we'll discuss gun legislation.
But before we do anything, we are going to talk about the 10 people who matter most. Our SLOAN DICKEY is in Boulder ahead of a vigil for the victims. Russell HAYTHORN is hearing from a community that feels forever indebted to Officer Eric Talley. And Russell, we start with you.
Yeah, forever indebted, Ann, and forever changed. This is a community obviously still struggling to make sense of it all, and yet, as we saw today, already strength and resolve to get through this together.
I'm just kind of walking up right now.
Sometimes it takes a tragedy.
Make sure they know we're here, make sure they know we're supporting them.
To help remind us of the beauty in our community.
It's just like this mixed thing where, like, how can it be beautiful and serendipitous, but so tragic?
This group of friends feels lucky. They went the wrong way today.
We were bringing flowers to the memorial and happened to have taken a wrong turn, didn't know this was happening. So feel blessed that we got to be here for it.
Here with dozens of others to salute fallen officer Eric Talley.
Pay our respects to him as he goes by.
As his body is moved in a police procession from the coroner's office in Boulder to a funeral home in Aurora.
We're really moved by it.
The casket with the flag draped over it.
A community still grief-stricken after a mass shooting no one can make sense of.
It's a shame that this had happened. I'm just sick about it.
From former police officers like Janine,
I know what it's like to run towards danger,
to those who aspire to be police officers like Jai.
After the military, from there, I really want to be a police officer. When he went into that King Soopers, he saved so many lives. When he was engaged in that gun battle, so many people ran out.
He was there, and we're convinced he saved a lot of people's lives.
Beauty.
Just bring in the love.
To celebrate a life.
In the face of tragedy.
We're going to get through this, even though it's so, so terrible.
As for funeral arrangements for Officer Talley, we're still awaiting details from the Boulder PD on that. There is, however, a vigil tonight for all of the shooting victims, and for more on that, my colleague SLOAN DICKEY is standing by live. SLOAN?
Yeah, Russell, there are several planned vigils this evening, but the space in front of King Soopers tends to be that unofficial memorial that's been set up. We were here last night where there were several hundred flowers in front of this King Soopers. I can tell you that that number of flowers, the number of candles, the number of tributes has grown significantly, but there are some planned events tonight by religious and community groups. Unity Columbine Spiritual Center is hosting one, another one by the Heart Sculpture on Lake Loveland. Now, Boulder City Council is also holding a special meeting tonight to honor the victims, and there's a public vigil at the community center in downtown Boulder, right outside of the courthouse. And there's another vigil at 7:30 in Tantra Park here in Boulder. Organizers are asking people who attend that one to bring flashlights and candles. And tomorrow there is another vigil planned by Moms Demand Action, and that will be at Fairview High School. But people are really finding any way they can to mourn and to honor the victims who passed away. Reporting live in Boulder, SLOAN DICKEY, Denver 7.
Yeah, such an outpouring. SLOAN, thank you. And Louisville's Lana Barkowiak was among the best known of the people lost on Monday. She was the founder of Umba, a clothing and art store off the Pearl Street Mall. She was also a fixture of the festival scene.
Lana was one of the kindest people you'd ever meet. She was jovial, good-hearted, good-natured, beloved by everyone. Definitely a kind being, and it's really a loss. I'm sure all the people that have lost their lives have their own story, but Lana is someone who will really be missed in the community.
Lana's brother spoke with the New York Times, and he told the paper his sister was newly engaged.
And today, Ricky Old's uncle spoke on her family's behalf. The 25-year-old was a service manager at the Table Mesa King Soopers. Her co-workers called her Wendy because she so often wore her hair up in braids. She loved the outdoors. She loved camping. She loved hiking. She was just like everyone else, and she was completely one of a kind.
When Ricky showed up at the house, we never knew what color her hair was going to be. We never knew what new tattoo she may have. But that was Ricky. And Ricky lived life on Ricky's terms, not anybody else's terms. And then her life was cut short.
There are a number of ways that you can help the families of these victims. The Colorado Healing Fund, one of the best options, and you can donate right now on their website, or you can ring in tomorrow. We're going to host a call center. Phone lines are open 4 o'clock to 6:30.
If investigators have gathered a motive for the murders, they are not sharing it with anyone. The suspect's brother told CNN his brother may have been suffering from mental illness. He also said his brother was neither particularly political or religious. In 2018, the suspect was convicted of third-degree assault after he attacked a classmate at Arvada West High School.
And prosecutors don't need to show motive to put the gunman away for life. What they will need is proof he's capable of standing trial.
If this guy is going to end up claiming some kind of a mental health defense, and let's be honest, this doesn't seem like a whodunit. It doesn't even seem like a what happened. It seems like a why did this happen? And the only defense available is going to be some form of a mental health defense. Can't say I had an alibi, can't say it was self-defense, can't say it was intoxication. This is something that's in the mental health range. So one of the things that I think is smart is if they put video on this guy 24/7 for a few weeks. And I say that because you can't fake crazy that long. You just can't do it. And if this guy is genuinely mentally ill, that should be good evidence of it.
Now, the suspect will make his first court appearance tomorrow. Then and there he will be advised of the 10 charges of first-degree murder he is facing.
President Biden's wishes for new gun control legislation will likely go ungranted in Congress. Senate Democrats don't have the votes to overcome a Republican filibuster. They may not even have the votes from within their own party. A more reasonable expectation is that new legislation will be passed on the state level. Denver7 political reporter Megan Lopez is looking into that and more tonight.
Come out with your hands up, unarmed.
It's become a cycle.
Stage medical on Broadway.
Tragedy, tears.
I hope that they have the strength to get through.
Then demands for change. Even before Boulder's mass shooting, Democrats on a federal, state, and local level have been pushing for more gun reforms.
It doesn't have to be like this.
On a federal level, the U.S. House has already passed 2 bills. One requires background checks on nearly all gun purchases. The other closes a loophole that allows a sale to proceed if the background check takes longer than 3 days.
We know these things work, and we have an obligation. I have an obligation as a lawmaker to continue to try to push that progress.
Even though the president has shown support for them, the Senate has yet to take the bills up, and there's even disagreement among Democrats.
We all basically know that Congress likely is not going to be able to act.
State Senator Steve FENBERG says if Congress won't act, Colorado's legislature must.
We're in discussions about what we think we should do.
Put in your code in here.
And this year, lawmakers are considering a safe storage bill and one on lost or stolen firearms, but some want more.
If no higher levels of government are stepping in to support us, then it's our job at the city and municipal level.
Boulder passed an assault weapons ban in 2018, but last week a district judge blocked it, saying gun laws are up to the state.
I feel real anger at that ruling that said, you're not allowed to regulate these weapons of war, and then a few days later someone comes in and uses one of them to murder members of our community.
Boulder's city attorney tells Denver7 they're considering appealing that ruling. Meanwhile, back at the state capitol,
that's something we have the authority here in the legislature to change. And so I'm looking into that.
In Boulder, none of these proposed reforms can change the loss, and any gun bill on a local, state, or federal level will inevitably face pushback. Megan Lopez, Denver7.
And this story is developing by the day, if not by the hour. And you can find all the information and resources we've collected on thedenverchannel.com.
Also, if you want to talk about this week, join me, I hope you will, for a special Facebook Live tonight. That conversation starts at 7.
Coming up, a killer's accomplice is released from prison earlier than expected.
Colorado eases restrictions on restaurants, gyms, and retailers.
And local researchers work to cure cancer in dogs.
I hope that one shot will someday save a lot of anguish for a lot of people.
We've already had over 30 inches of snow this month, and there's more snow on the way.